We are back for another video. I managed to record something. If you're watching this, that is true. I had to move where I was recording because I had both cats downstairs and they've been getting along pretty well. I mean, the occasional like wrestling, and I think I'm more worried than they are. I think they're having a good time, but sometimes she's over it, and my older cat does not know when to stop. Not quite yet, because she's too small to really fight back. So yeah, they just got into it, and he was being a big bully. So I brought her upstairs. She needs to eat anyways. So that's the change of scenery that's going on here. So this video is going to be like 10 minutes long, but it's going to take me 30 minutes to film it, and I'm going to sound like I'm out of breath half the time because these children of mine, these fur babies, are going a little crazy today. They truly are. I basically just wanted to do a little chatty video and give you an update on the book and maybe go into a little bit more detail of the feedback that I received from one of my writing partners for this draft of Project Marbles. If you're new here, Project Marbles is my psychological horror novel. It is about a woman who is going through a terrible breakup with the person she thought she was going to spend the rest of her life with, and she has some like other not so great things happening in her life. She just needs a little break. She's also working on her sophomore novel. Her first book was a ghost story about a ghost that she came across in her first job at in a haunted building on a university campus. And she is working on her sophomore novel, and because of the breakup and the other stuff going on in her life, she's having a hard time focusing on the book. So she really just wants to get away. Her godmother happens to have a cabin in the woods. It is in the Appalachian Mountains in LJ, Georgia. And so she takes the opportunity to go and stay at the cabin to heal from her breakup, not super focus on the other shit going on in her life, but also knows that this is her time to heal. So if she needs to take the time to like cry it out, she's by herself at a cabin, she can do that. And also she wants to take time to work on her book. She doesn't really even know what she's going to write about next. So yeah, but then something falls in her lap, because while she is at the cabin the first night there is a knock at the door in the middle of the night, and it is a woman asking for Salem. Our main character's name is Willa. She's not Salem. So who is the Salem? Who is the stranger coming to ask for the woman? And why will she not stop knocking at the door? So that is kind of like the beginning premise of the novel, and it goes from there. I wrote, also, if you hear like a little bell jingling, it is the kitten. I am going to try to grab her at some point and put her on camera for you all to enjoy her cuteness. To catch everyone up on Project Marbles, as well as introduce kind of where I'm at with the story for anyone who's new that's watching, I am currently going through my second round of beta feedback. So I wrote draft 1. I started writing it in August of last year of 2024, and then I finished it in December. Draft 1, finished it in December of 2024, so it took me about 4 months to get through. I took about 2 weeks off during the holidays to enjoy time with my family and my friends and get a little breather and break from the book. And then from there, I did a read through and some edits myself and had draft 2. Did I send draft 3? I think I did draft 2 and draft 3 of edits myself, and then I sent draft 3 off to beta readers. Yes, I sent draft 3 off to beta readers, and then I was able to get draft 4 from that, and I got feedback from 2 of my writing friends. One is in my writing group with me that I meet monthly with. The other one is a really good friend that I met online on Instagram, and we read the same kind of stuff, we write the same kind of stuff, and so we hit it off. We hit it off fairly quickly and started chatting in each other's DMs, and I read a portion of one of the books she's currently working on, edits with her agent, and so I asked her if she would be willing to read my book for me. And hold on, because the kitten is scratching the chair. So I got feedback from those 2 writers and was able to get draft 4 together. And then I sent off, she's probably gonna climb up the chair here in just a second. No? Could you not fit? I sent draft 4 off to another round of beta readers. This time I wanted to do mostly readers to get like a reader reaction to the story. But the other woman that's in my writing group with me, she could not fit it into her schedule the first time around, but she was able to fit it into her schedule. Oh, there she is. Hello. Can you say hi to everyone? Oh, no. And you're still recording. Wow. Okay, and you dropped my phone. You want to say hi? Say hello. Say hello. Okay, you want to play now? Back, I don't know how to even start back after that. So, what did you knock over now? You being crazy, girl. Can I finish recording, please? Gosh, they're driving me insane. Okay, so she did not have time the first time around. She had time this time around. So I sent it to her to give me her writer feedback. And then my reader friends wanted to have a like Google form to fill out to just answer some questions for me after they finished reading the book. I actually also had another one of my writer friends who couldn't make it the first round either, but she prefers Google Forms when beta reading, so she is going to fill that out as well. The first feedback I got was from my writing friend that is in my writing group, and I've got to find my phone that fell on the ground somewhere in the crash. So I read some of the feedback she gave in my last video in June's Monthly Matcha, without trying to give away any like super important details of the book. So I will link that video below if you are interested in checking it out. And I do have timestamps on that video, so if you only want to watch the writing portion, I think I did that second for my monthly matcha. But again, there's timestamps, so you can just search and find it. What her overall feedback was mostly what I covered then, and she did touch on one of my other POVs. The story is mostly told through Willa's POV, but I do have a second POV that comes in, I think, like every 3 chapters or so, and they are a lot shorter and condensed. And Anna said, I liked how short those interstitials were and how we could sense that they were relevant somehow. And then she goes on to talk about something at the end, so I won't get into that. And to try to find some oh my gosh, you ma'am, I need you to move. What is happening? Okay, I'm gonna let her brother in here. Maybe they can stop fighting. There's like 3 chapters in Anna's edit letter that is very specific and very like spoilery, so I will skip over that. But she did have some line level feedback, and she's like, I think you can cut some. And she made some suggestions in places where I have like filler words like beginning, began, started, continued. And so she made the suggestion, and what I'm definitely going to do is to like Control F or Command F, depending on what kind of system you have, search for those kind of words and take them out. She also suggested cutting down on some unnecessary dialogue tags when we already know who's speaking, and sometimes things like she whispered or croaked can get repetitive over time. So I can cut down on redundant words like she whispered to herself. So that is basically just like you can keep it as she whispered. Yeah, to herself, like she said, is pretty redundant. So I did notice that. I did that a few times. So I took those out. She was like, I would take a comb through and see where you can cut down on stage directions, because we don't need to see every moment sometimes, and it can slow down the reading pace if we're reading actions that are already implied and not inherently interesting themselves. For example, we don't need to see someone pull out their phone, tap the screen, check notifications, put the phone back in their pocket. Usually the reader can assume certain things with just checked my phone. So otherwise, I really liked your line level writing, so that's just being nitpicky and helping you cut down your length, which I think would be pretty low-hanging fruit. It's definitely a better problem to have than the opposite, where a reader can't visualize the scene enough. You do a great job of us feeling immersed inside the character's mind with their emotions and thoughts, so it's overall a very smooth read. These are just things I notice as a writer. And she goes into the actual feedback, which I'm trying to like zoom in without giving too much away here, because Anna is the first person to give me handwritten feedback. So yeah, she added little handwritten notes, and there was like some funny stuff in here too that kind of cracked me up. And you know, she did mark those places where I said she whispered to herself, or what I was saying beginning or started, or things like that I could take out. And then of course, nice little notes like that. So I did get Anna's feedback first, and so she did give me her feedback earlier than the deadline that I had given to my beta readers. So I just kind of held off and continued to have my break from the manuscript for a while. And then the deadline came, and the rest of my beta readers' life was lifing, and some things came up for all of them, and you know, totally understandable life situations. So it wasn't a big deal, and it was nice that I had such detailed notes from Anna to go ahead and get started on my beta feedback. I eventually did get some feedback from one of my other beta readers who was doing the beta form, and her notes were pretty much all positive. I think there was like one suggestion she may have had, and I'm gonna see if I can find it. So just some of the quick little points that this beta reader said. She was like, the story immediately drew me in from the mysterious encounter at the beginning. I loved Willa. She reminds me of someone I know and can relate to. And then she did tell me what she disliked about Willa, but it gives away too much of the story. And also it wasn't like, it was a character flaw, but in making her human, not a flaw as in something that I need to fix with her. It was part of her character development. Yes, I found Willa's actions realistic given the situation. I think many women can relate to her situation. Her conflicts felt authentic. I envisioned the scenery with ease from the descriptions of the cabin and the surrounding woods, etc., etc. The side characters gave more to the story and enhanced what I was envisioning. I asked, in your opinion, what is Project Marble's greatest weakness? And she said, well, I didn't see any real weaknesses. I do like the idea of more Appalachian lore included into the story. That is something that I could add, and I definitely understand that point. And though it is set in the Appalachian Mountains, that is not the main point of the story. So, and my word count is already a little on the high side for a debut. It's currently sitting at a little over 89,000 words. So I'm like cutting it close. But once I finish this next round of read through, if I can find some place to put a little bit more into it, I could definitely add that, because I too enjoy Appalachian lore, and that's why I liked setting it in this place. Okay, so that was that feedback. So I did get that feedback, but from Anna's, I started my revisions so that I can get a draft 5. From Anna's notes, I went through each chapter and I set up a split screen how I have done for my other revisions with the last round of beta feedback. And I essentially had her document with her notes on the left. I had a new Scrivener document on the right. And I went through and made the line level changes that she suggested. And I was able to, I think I cut like 200 words maybe of that like extra redundant grammar and stuff that she was talking about in her edit letter. So I completed that yesterday. I only took a week to get through that, which was super nice because I was giving myself the entire month of July. But since I was able to get through that in a week, I am now going to start with the big picture stuff. I took notes as I was also going through the line level edits of things that was going to be like a little bit bigger of an overhaul, so that I can go back through and get those done. So I'm going to get started on that. And who's breathing like that? I'm going to take those notes that I made and then also go through her edit letter and the bigger picture things she noted, take what resonates and kind of take away what doesn't, and then find those sections in the book where I want to make those bigger changes. And then I plan on doing a big read through, like one last final read through of Project Marbles. And then it's going to be time to jump into the query trenches, and I cannot wait to get started on that journey. I'm excited and I'm nervous, and I'm ready to go. Let's go. Let's get this book in front of some other readers, and I'm excited. It's been a long time coming. I did not record an outro last night. Your girl, I got busy with the fur babies. They had me running all over the place. But we're back. It's the next day. I pretty much wrapped up what I wanted to chat about, which is just basically where I am at with Project Marbles. And yeah, this weekend I am going to begin working on the big picture edits that I need to make in Project Marbles, and hopefully I should have them done by Monday night. That's what we're hoping for. I had plans with one of my friends over the weekend, but she is not feeling well. So Man. Don't mind that couch. It's not supposed to be crooked like that. But it's old. We are working on redecorating this house to have more of a vibe. And so I still need places for people to sit when they come over. So for now, this couch is here. Once I get some chairs, it will be gone and out of the way. My friend was supposed to come over. She's not feeling well, so we have rescheduled our plans, which has opened up my weekend to have more time with Project Marbles. I'm hoping by Monday night I will have draft 5 finished, and then it is time to edit up that query letter and write a synopsis, which I do have a plan for my synopsis, and I will talk about it soon. So thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and I will catch you next week. And bye from Jack. He was not in the video a lot because his sister, his sister is, you know, she likes attention. And he's my chill baby, so. But yes, he wanted to say hi and bye. Say bye, Jack. Say bye. Say bye. See you next week. Bye.